I didn't know what bands we'd have, but I said we'll get some bands to play. But if I'm thinking about doing this. What was happening is that every time I looked at Facebook, I kept on saying we want a reunion, we want a reunion. That's the Old Bridge Militia. It's about 400 strong now. We want a reunion, we want a reunion. So it sort of antagonized the dream. And when I woke up, Marcia said, "Look, I'll support it. You want to do it? We'll do it." So the next thing I did, when I called Rock and Ray, I said, "We're going to do this party, but who the hell do you want to get to play?"
And I said, the only way we're going to do this, Johnny, is we got to keep it old school, brother. And thank God I had Marcia agree with me, because I don't know which way Johnny was going to head.
Ray, what did you think when he first called you?
Oh, I said, it's about time. And I said, this is definitely working now, because there's a man out there called Chris Harmony, and he's got a fan page of the Old Bridge Militia, and there's almost 5,000 people on it that are following some of the legendary stuff that went on back in the day, and he's keeping the name held up till today, and I thought it would definitely work with a lot of advertising between us guys getting the old crew together, and a lot of advertising from Chris doing. I think we could definitely put this together. So I said, if you're going to do it, Johnny, you got to go to the old school, though. And he said right away Anvil came up, because they were great friends of ours over the years. Yeah. And Raven and I brought up the Rise, and Johnny was a little skeptical, but Marshall went with me on that.
Oh, I wasn't skeptical. I just said, the Rods, are they still together?
Yeah.
And Ray goes, yeah, they were playing a gig last year somewhere. And I said, no. Yeah, all right, I'll call them.
So it first started off as a Old Bridge reunion, and then after that you decided to do a Sandy benefit?
Well,
or how did that come about?
Originally, Ray, Chris, and I talked about, and Marcia, talked about doing a small little show, maybe 300 people. We didn't want to do it back at the 516 where we used to hang out as the militia. So we said, maybe we'll do it in Stone Pony in Asbury Park. So we started to say, let's do that. And we put the bill together. We went to the Stone Pony, and they said, all right, we'll hold a date for you. And we basically said, great, let's do it. And the next thing you know it, I found out that they gave the date away.
Oh, so you were originally supposed to do it there, but then that kind of...
They gave the date away. They obviously didn't take me seriously. Yeah. So then one of the people we're working with, Stan Levinstone, who's a promoter in the area, he called me up and said, Johnny, there's a great place in Freehold, New Jersey. You've got to see it. It's fantastic. And it's called the Encore Event Center. I never heard of it, never had an idea of what it looked like. But we went there. And when we went there, being the group here, we basically found out the place was huge. And I said...
What kind of place is it? Is it kind of like, you know, an arena type place, or is it more like a club, or
well,
how's it set up?
Anybody want to describe it?
No, it's more like an indoor venue for anywhere from 18 to 2,300. Beautiful, beautiful setup. And we walked in and it was just like...
Just new?
Perfect.
To be honest with you, it's a beautiful place. And let's hope it stays that way.
And you got to remember that when we did the first Anvil show, we had more police and firemen because they said one cigarette lights up, one anything lights up, this show is closed. And the militia stood fast, and not one cigarette got lit, and not one beer got drank. But dear God, the parking lot outside.
The parking lot outside was a mess.
So how many Old Bridge members are you expecting here tonight then?
Well, it's really 11. Divided. You have about how many survivors now do we got from there? We have about 100
strong. I seen most of them last night, as a matter of fact, because my partner, Metal Joe, Joe Shimeni, his father passed away, so we all were at the wake last night. A lot of the guys showed up. So to be honest with you, strong militia guys that were there from the day one when Metallica came into town, and we put them up and we helped them out when Johnny started this whole thing. We probably got maybe about 20 guys left, and girls. Yeah. You know, we lost a lot of members over the years because the 80s were a hard time. You know, so this is a celebration of life also, this show now, of the members that are still here, and the people are still here, and we're all thankful to still be here. You know,
yeah. And I don't think we mentioned it, but it's going to be taking place May 11th. And yeah, so I want to talk a little bit more about the venue. So since you had no idea,
we got into this place. It looked fantastic, and the first thing we said is we may need some help to fill this up. You know, I don't see Anvil and Raven and the Rods filling this up. All of a sudden, miraculously, I thought we were going to do 800 people. You know, so I figured we'll pack the Stone Pony, but I didn't know that we're going to be facing 800 seats.
Yeah.
Well, just as this happened, Ed Trunk said to me, we all know who Ed is,
Yep.
Ed said to me, Johnny, you know, Twisted Sister are looking to do a show for Hurricane Sandy, for Superstorm Sandy.
Yeah.
And we said, great. He writes JJ French a letter. And the next day, JJ calls me on the phone. We didn't speak for more than 2 seconds. He just said, Johnny, we're in.
There you go.
So
that was all set up.
that was all set up. And all of a sudden, between all the bands, the tickets started rolling. Here's what we bring in Chris Hominy. Before we even ran an ad, before we even did a bit of press or radio, we had sold 800 tickets for the show.
That's crazy.
That's just, Chris went out there and he got about 64 people to share the initial news. And it was mayhem on the internet. It was crazy.
Just
Plus-
based on the Facebook alone, we were able to get a good amount of tickets sold. Just from promoting it on Facebook, sharing it on Facebook, and we just pushed it on Facebook and people just ate it up.
Plus, he went and put art together from his mind that when he sent me the JPEG, I looked at it and I said, this is so rock and roll heaven, so Old Bridge Militia. I mean, I couldn't have drawn this myself if I had dreamed it up.
Yeah.
And it was just like kismet. Everything, everybody fell together. And let's not forget, all these bands, all our starters, Megaforce, it all started in Jersey. And we all had this compelling need, because we're all here to talk today, to give it back. And so it was a perfect way to bring everything together and do the right thing for the right reasons.
It seems that everything just happened so fast. I mean, you had the dream, and then all this stuff happened.
It happened crazy. Plus the organization, we have an amazing production manager, John Albino, and John just put it together with the bands, and the bands all cooperated with John. He had them do things I wouldn't even ask, but he spoke to them, and everybody's just doing great. And then it came to the next band in the lineup. Oh, by the way, let's talk about Lords of Mercy.
Yes.
You know, Lords of Mercy were there from the beginning. Pete Perina was the drummer, fantastic percussionist. He's the main guy in Lords of Mercy, I think. But all I know is that they have been doing a lot to promote, and they're on the show, and I've been really digging their music. I think they're going to do very well that night. And then on top of that, we get a phone call from John Albino that David DiPietro is going to be in the late night jam because we wanted to have a super jam at the end of the show. And then I hear that Mark Tornillo from TT Quick is in the late night jam. Now he's been doing service as the lead vocalist for Accept. And I'm going, that's pretty cool. And other names started coming up, but it got to the point where John Albino called me up and goes, hey Johnny, TT Quick will play if you'll let them play. I said, I'll let them play. He said, sure, man, that's fantastic. So now, at 12:25, when all the weaklings want to go home from the show, TT Quick's going to come out and blow everybody's mind.
It just sounds like everybody just wanted a piece of it. As soon as that news went out, everybody wanted to get on that. So we have TT Quick up here.
We have Dave from the lead guitarist.
TT Quick. So Dave, what was it like to be on such an awesome show? Like be asked or get approval to be a part of?
It was amazing. It was amazing. And, for all of us who came out of that era and we had so much to say and we all had like a dream and so much to say, if it wasn't for Johnny and Marcia and their vision, we would have never been able to share our vision. So, that's something that sometimes we all take for granted. These guys had an amazing idea to take music that nobody else was signing back then and find a way to bring it out. And that's how come I'm sitting here talking to you now. But to be asked to be on this show, I mean, Mark Tornillo and I remain great friends and do a lot together. And he reminded me, we got our start at the Jersey Shore. We used to play at the Stone Pony. I mean, there was no way we could be watching bands like Anvil come all the way down from Canada and us being from the Jersey Shore, not get involved in
Yeah.
a show to benefit people from the Jersey Shore. You know,
Because
so.
you call it home, so
Yeah, I
you
mean,
had
we were gonna crash the gate whether he wanted. You know.
whether you got approval or not, it was
Well,
not.
the next thing you know, Walt Fortune, the original bass player from the band, is playing, and now they're saying that Eric, with 3 pins in his leg, who could hardly walk, is going to play drums that night. That should be interesting. He's the closest thing to John Bonham I ever saw, so I hope he gets to play. By the way, that night you got some amazing drummers. You got Pete Perito from Lords of Mercy, Carl Kennedy from the Rods is a monster. Rob Hunter,
Our
John
first producer.
Hasselbender, and Carl Kennedy is the first producer of what?
The EP.
Of the
EP?
EP, yeah.
Oh,
So it'd be a lot of fun to see him again.
Carl did everything.
Rob Reiner's not half bad either.
Oh, Rob Reiner, I got stuck. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Right on, man.
Oh my God!
Good job, Ray.
There's just so many, it's hard to.
Yeah, Rob Reiner's pretty good.
All right, so let's go into the music. Let's hear what we're gonna be in for. First, we're gonna play some TT Quick. So right now, here is Medal of Honor, only here on WSU. We'll be back shortly.
That's a good song.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great album.
Here, we'll have each other.
Ray,
Thank you.
Wow, that's cool.
Very good
That was good,
save.
right?
Very
It's a
good.
good thing Rob's in
you know-
Canada.
yeah, you don't